Borodar, good morning. My name's David Evans. I work here at Bangor University. And really all I am is the warm-up act for the real business here, which is to hear the work of Pete and Steve and the Artisans Collective in Prestatyn. But just really before that, my role at the university is as an embedded researcher, meaning what my role is to do is to try and break down some of those traditional barriers in terms and between the university and the real world itself. And I think what we're doing here today is moving from the academic presentations into some real grounded evidence of what's going on out there. I started my role working in a large primary care practice in Prestatyn and have recently moved over to work alongside the Artisan Collective that you'll hear more about. And my area of interest really follows on, is almost as though we planned it from Jill's work, which is around challenging the dominant narrative that many health and care organisations, statutory organisations, have, which tends to prioritise the organisational risk around health and care rather than the individual or the community risk. And what that means is the unintended consequences may well speak to some of the inequalities that Jill referred to. But also for us, what we see is it can limit and restrict the level of development out in the community. But despite that, the Artisans Collective really has delivered, and you'll hear more about them, through the sheer determination and vision that Pete and Steve have for wanting to be and working in their community. And for me, the thing that is markedly different about what they do is that they deliver purely and simply what their community want them to deliver, nothing else. They deliver it in a way that their community wants them to deliver it, and nothing more than that. And they deliver it, and this is the important bit, on the terms of their local community. They do not answer to those statutory organisations, and they find ways around those in order to deliver the outcome. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm just going to hand over now to Pete, who's really just going to take you through the Artisan Collective. Cheers, Pete.
Well, a couple of firsts, really, isn't it? The only voluntary organisation speaking today, and also having a warm-up man, so it's quite good. Yeah, I'm Pete from the Artisans Collective in Prestatyn. Steve's my colleague here. We're a totally voluntary organisation in Prestatyn, and we work in the old library. How do we go forward on this one? Just press any key, is it, to go forward?
Yeah, just press the arrows.
Got you. Right. Yeah, there we go. It worked. Okay. Yeah, so we were formed in August 2013, and we moved into the old library in Prestatyn. We got a new library built in town, so we got on to Denbighshire County Council and tried to get in this building. And after 18 months of quite tricky negotiations, we got in there. Originally, our costs were met by hiding out the retail space within the old library and running events, mainly for the town council and one or two other little groups. And we also hire rooms out on an hourly, daily or weekly basis. That's to cover our overheads, pay the heating and lighting really, and the rent and rates. When we started, these weren't our aims. We wanted to be a retail outlet originally, but within a very short space of time, people were coming to us and saying, can you help us? I'd like to run an art group, or I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. So our aims now, we want to promote health and well-being within our community with activities alongside our health board and referrals from lots of other sources. Dave Worrell from the Red Cross has got a section this afternoon, a workshop. And we work very closely with our community navigators through the single point of access. They refer people into us. There's terms, social prescribing if you like, but it comes from many aspects. It just doesn't come from the medical profession to us. It comes through our town council, through other community groups, through the health board as well. We work very closely with occupational therapists. So we're not precious about what we do. We initiate and facilitate groups that will later be able to come self-supporting, like Men's Sheds, which I'll talk about a bit later on. We love promoting our town and locality. We use every method we can to get the message out. We've had some great successes this week with the local radio station. One of our local caps, who's a good friend, just won a competition there. So it's really good. And we want to help and develop Prestatyn and becoming a dementia-friendly community. We chair the agenda. I think we're still the only town in Denbighshire to actually be acknowledged by the Alzheimer's Society to be working towards becoming a dementia-friendly community. The next slide is a clip from a recent TV interview that Steve and myself did with a local TV company. So this tells you a little bit more about us, really.
I'm a volunteer at Statin at the Artisans Collective Field Library. Steve Fennell, fellow...
Probably can't hear that. But...
Over the 4.5, 5 years we've been here, we've developed into a community hub now. So we have things like, well, we start with the men's shed on a Tuesday, we have bereavement groups, we have art groups, community art groups, children's art groups, and we also chair Prestatyn Dementia Friendly Community. On top of that, we've got other projects away from here. We've got one called the Morpher Gateway Project, which is an outdoor environmental project where we turn an old rubbish tip, literally a rubbish tip, into something where we've got gardens and everything now. It's going to develop further and further. So in a nutshell, that's the sort of thought that I think of the Artisans Collective, yeah.
Oh, it's gone brilliantly. We've grown over the 4 years, 4.5 years.
Yeah, it's been challenging, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very rewarding because so many people get so much from it. You know, when you're providing something that people actually want, the rewards, fantastic.
In this area in particular, Prestatyn is sort of a retire-to place, so there is quite an older population locally. A lot of the things we do are related to older people, aren't they now? The likes of the men's shed and the dementia agenda in particular. And it's good because we're all getting older, but social isolation is a big problem locally. People don't get out of houses, and they say it's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. If you're socially isolated, that's the effect on your health. So by doing the outdoor projects, by doing the men's sheds, by doing all of the art groups and everything, we're getting people out, and we run events with the council and stuff in the past, which actually get people out. Even our children's art group we do on a Saturday, it's all grandparents and the kids and everything, isn't it? So all of those people have all become friends, and when we say we're going to do something, we get their support, so that's the feedback.
Exactly 2 minutes yet. Prestatyn, it's a great place to live. I love living in Prestatyn, but there's some interesting figures. Our characteristics of the population, we've got an older age structure than Wales and GP generally, with a very high percentage of people aged over 65, with a noticeable dip in the 16 to 44 year age groups. So our population density is high, and the ethnicity and the religious is less diverse than national average, and Welsh speakers are below the Welsh average. I think I mentioned in the interview there before that a lot of people retire to Prestatyn. We're now so lucky that we've got the health board alongside us in a building behind us, and we work very closely with them. As Steve from the Older People's Commissioner said, and Dave, we've only done what people have asked us to do, and Steve and I didn't really realise that at the beginning. And it's only then, once Dave's provided us with figures, and we got figures from elsewhere, we begin to realise why we do what we do and why there is a demand for those things. Health is a limiting long-term illness. The limiting long-term illness is significantly above England and Wales average, as is the proportion of unpaid carers, which again is what we were talking about before. High levels of all chronic illnesses compared with the Wales average. A lot of pensioner-only households are much higher than the national average, particularly lone pensioners. High levels of owner occupation and low levels of social renting. A lot of people, unfortunately, have retired to the town, get there, the partner dies, loneliness, isolation sets in, and house prices are well below Welsh average. A really great thing for us. We see the police every day in our place. They come in and talk to us and exchange information, and we've done a lot with them. The local police, our first Dementia Friends session, they came along, and now, through the efforts of our police guys locally, North Wales Police is now recognised as a dementia-friendly organisation. We'd like to believe that we help them get there, which is really good. This is, Steve and I both come from industrial backgrounds, if you like, both worked in commercial places, but there's very, very little jobs in Prestatyn for people, and I know it's something Steve, again at the Older People's Commission, was talking about, jobs for older people. There's very few by us. The main thing in Prestatyn and locality is the holiday industry. It's because it's a tourist town. So we've got a big retail park now. So there's a lot of people there, but there are very, very few skilled jobs. But a lot of the people who come to see us each day did work in industry in the past, did be part of a, you know, they could have been Liverpool, Manchester, Stoke, Birmingham. They come from industrial areas, retired to the seaside. People aged 16 to 24 make up a larger proportion of unemployed claimants than average. Income levels are well below the national average. The proportion of people claiming benefits well above the national average, especially for incapacity benefits, but slightly below the Denbighshire average. Poverty and deprivation. A high proportion of children in families claiming working tax credits, particularly in work families. So again, that lower non-skilled, lower sort of retail and hospitality jobs. And we've got higher than average levels of deprivation in the community, safety domain of the Welsh Index of Multiple Deprivation. Sounds grim, but it's a fantastic place to live. It's really good. An interesting fact. They say that 1 in 4 people will be aged 65 and over in 2036. We've already got 27% in Prestatyn. So over 5,000 of our locals are aged over 65. So we're ahead of the game. So we currently co-produce with North Wales Police, North Wales Fire and Rescue. We work with these people on a daily basis. Public Health Wales, Men's Sheds Cymru, Betsy Cadwallader, the Health Board, Denbighshire County Council, Countryside Services and Housing, which I'll come to in a few minutes. Prestatyn and Clwydyn Range Walking Festival, we hold our committee meetings and also the first day of the Walking Festival from our place. Worked very closely over the last few years with a thing called Grow Wild through Kew Gardens, where they're North Wales Community Hub, and we work with our Business Forum and the Prestatyn Bloom groups. So what we do on a weekly basis, we host Prestatyn Men's Sheds. We've got a project called the More for Gateway Project. We have a coffee pod bereavement support group, adult art groups, junior artisans group every Saturday, Dementia Friends awareness sessions, dementia support group every Friday afternoon. We've just got involved with the Health Board with a mental health project called I Can. We hold a mind music session outside of our place in a local church because we think that's a good place to hold it. They've got fantastic facilities. Anti-scam awareness sessions, and coming up soon we have our Spooktacular, which is a town event promoting our locality. Really does work. That event will be funded by the police and the fire brigade to raise awareness for people, for the younger kids, not to go terrorising people, not to go knocking on doors, not playing trick-or-treat where they're not wanted. That's funded by the police and the fire brigade using the villain's money. So it's a proceeds of crime money. That really pleases me. It's turning, oh, it's great, yeah. So it's little things like that really help build a community and give people secureness in their own home, which is great for me. We do a lot of artwork, we do a lot of things. This is part of a presentation we did with Steve Huxton from the Older People's Commissioner a couple of weeks ago, which was the Age-Friendly Culture Network. We tackle loneliness and or isolation by using a lot of creative things. Men's Sheds is practically totally creative. Culture, we get a lot of people coming in because Steve loves his local history and what have you. Just coming in for a chat about local history to a lot of people, just being able to go somewhere because we're a community hub now. It's just have a chat. We're there, they know who we are. We're not in a white overall, we're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not politicians. But just come and have a chat, and the amount of people we see each week doing that is fantastic. The picture there is Steve and I outside our place with one of our dementia-friendly banners. And Steve actually coined this phrase when we were speaking to him, and he highlighted in a publication for the Older People's Commissioner. Everything we do is community-led. We've never done anything which people haven't asked for, and that's true. Very true. So one of the great things, and this is voluntary as well, and the young lady Amy who does it, came along to us 4 years ago now. And so we've been running it non-stop, totally voluntary. And a number of the participants have been with us since the start. Every Friday morning we have an art group. We charge £3, so it's affordable. But in that £3 they get the tea and coffee and all the material supplied, so it's a good deal. And I would say practically everybody, we get upwards of 20 people there sometimes. Everybody there has a need. Everybody there wants to talk about something. Everybody discusses everything from mental health issues, everything. And then one of the pictures there, Amy, or two of the pictures, all doing separate pieces of work, but then bolting them together, if you like, to show we are community. So everybody's done their own little thing. Like Steve made the jigsaw pieces there, and then every person painted their own feelings. But all together we are a community and we work together, and that's what it showed. We've done a number of projects like this in the past, and it really has worked, really worked. We've done things like coming up soon for the Remembrance Day. Everybody's done poppy drawings. Steve made a big poppy to go up at the top of town. It looks brilliant. We've done a mural calendar for the town, so each artist has... We had a vote, didn't we, for that, I think, Steve? Each artist, so the 12 pages and the pictures on there. Outside, there's a fence there you can see under the tree. Each person painted an individual strut of the fence, if you like, and people were just coming in and doing it. Friends were coming and doing it. Again, each individual part of a community, and that's what we're trying to do, is bolt that community together. Men's Sheds, Simon's here from Men's Sheds Cymru today. Started in 2013 with a handful of members. We've now got over 60 guys engaged with that. We also hold the social activities at our place each Tuesday, but we've also got their own building now. We were lucky enough to find an old derelict building, which they've done up absolutely amazingly, the guys at Men's Sheds. All voluntary, raised some money, it's really good. But the other good thing we're doing with the guys from Men's Sheds is the WI go and meet there as well with them. So the Women's Institute are working with the Men's Shed, which is brilliant. And the little picture there in the middle is our art group on a Saturday for the kids, with the guys from Men's Shed come down and building, I think in that case it was bird boxes and bat boxes. So it's really good. Again, all working together. So there's the garden. That was just derelict, the garden there at Men's Sheds. But we also get them to do things for the town. Each year we hold a grotto in our place. So we've got the guys to make the sled for it, and that's there each year. They're part of the community. It's all intergenerational again, if you like. And the other picture on the bottom is the the way the building's progressing now. Excuse me. We've just started a project this year called the Morpher Gateway Project, and that's a partnership with Denbighshire County Council, their countryside services, their housing, North Wales Police and the Health Board. It's a tip, literally a tip it was. So we've now landscaped it, if you like. We've started work on it. There's still a lot more to be going at. But we have volunteers come down with us every Thursday. Steve and I work down there. Again, a lot of women from the WI come, love litter picking and everything. We've cleared some public footpaths through. So we entered it in It's Your Community for Wales in Bloom, and it's scale of 1 to 5, and we got 3 in our first year, which unheard of. It's absolutely fantastic. So we do a lot of, as we mentioned before, we do a lot of things with the community. But we've just started this one now, which is probably the biggest one we've got involved with because there's so many partner organisations. So it's now called Nature for Health at the Morpher Gateway Project. And that's been supported by Natural Resources Wales. And it was launched a few weeks ago, really. And it's going to be, people are going to be socially prescribed into that from the doctors. It's going to be quantified. It's got software that will actually see the outcomes and everything. So for us, it's the first stage in sort of formalising. Everything we've done it because people have asked us to do it. This one is probably a little bit more formal. So it's going to be interesting for us. I'm a big believer in civic pride. I believe if your town looks nice, is clean, is good, people are more willing to come out of the house, people are more willing to engage with other people. So we're involved with Prestatyn in Bloom, Steve and I are on the committee. And the words there are of our chairman of Prestatyn in Bloom, who's an ex-MP. The winning of awards provides valuable national promotion for the town and recognition of hard-working community groups. There's a number of community groups. We're not the only group involved with this, but it's a fantastic thing. We've just won Wales in Bloom Large Town. There's an increased community involvement and pride bringing people together from different backgrounds and ages. And the one for us, this helps improve health, well-being, social outcomes and reduces crime. As I said before, Steve and I are really big in trying to promote the town and everything we've done. The Morpher Gateway project is going to be on TV next year as part of Britain in Bloom. So We spent weeks filming with the BBC. When we set off the dementia network, the dementia-friendly community in Prestatyn, we got people along, we got a big red bus, we promoted the fact that that's what we're doing to get the word out there. It was in the paper, in the TV, all again to promote and help people feel good about the town they live in. Picture at the bottom, coming up again, we have a ghost walk for the Spooktacular. Really some great outcomes with that. And the other picture's the walking festival. So it's just part of the things that we do. So you're nearly at the end now. I love it, you see. I just love our town. I love everything we do. So I'll go on all day. You don't drag me off. Alongside Prestatyn Town Council, we hold mind music sessions each Wednesday at a local church hall. We all know the impact music, arts and creativity has on dementia. We get people living with dementia come in and see us each day. Because we've got the sign outside our place, people just come. Oh, it's Steve and Pete, people living with dementia, talking. I don't see people living with any disability any different to any of us, so it's really good for us because it's integrate them into the community. It's not to know they've got dementia. They're as more than welcome as anybody else to just come in and have a chat. And Steve and I learnt little techniques. We actually asked one guy, how do you feel today? Is it a good day or a bad day? And we know from the onset what we've got to do with the rest of the conversation. It's fantastic. So again, it's my music, he won't go near it, but he'll come in and talk about football or his ex-job. So it really is different. And finally, this is the ICANN. It is new to us. They've had a big, because it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, the Health Board have been pushing this now and it's going to take off. So we're not fully sure of how it's going to pan out yet, but it's something I just thought I'd mention anyway. So that's us.